IdleOn has a big problem, and I want to say this to set the tone for the rest of the video. The development cycle for an update is not healthy, and it's not sustainable for the long-term growth of the game. Let's talk about why. Hey you, before the video starts, consider dropping a like, a comment, and maybe consider subscribing. This really does help the channel grow. On to the video. First, I want to address the Dragon Warrior statue. It clearly was not the most controversial thing about this update because, well, it wasn't really touched, apart from moving further down into the hole. Which I can't agree with for the long-term IdleOn. It was a good change. This Caverns update, for the most part, pertains to the endgamers who could actually get to it. The only Caverns on initial release that had any content was Caverns 11, 12, and 15. Cavern 14, the Gambit Cavern, was added after the fact in a later update. Cavern 12 was a chopping resource and rupee multiplier for Cavern 11 if you had the engineer schematic. And that's it. Effectively 2 caverns of content. Cavern 15, as we assumed, was the new house for the Dragon Warrior statue, and was the initial thing of concern going into this update. Look to the description of the video discussing what my thoughts of these changes were. Before the update dropped, I was notified by my community of some problems. No patch to review, 12 hours before, nothing. 6 hours, 3 hours. Alpha testers didn't get access to Caverns 11 through 15 until 2 hours before the live patch. How do we know this? SteamDB indicated that the beta branch wasn't updated until 2 hours prior to the launch of the Caverns. And this is where the alpha patch lives for that team to go over prior to making it to the live launch. So 2 hours of testing led us to where? 3 caverns to limit test and break to find out any bugs. Easy, right? Well, no. Alpha testers don't have a special account with which they can limit test. They use their own IdleOn accounts. How do I know this? Well, multiple prominent enough members of the endgame community corroborate this fact, and with this update specifically. That means they don't typically have an unlimited supply of lanterns or other resources that might help them test any issues with an update. I'm not sure of all the bugs that were reported, nor of all the issues that were changed from the pre-live patch to live patch because I try to distance myself from the alpha testers to avoid spoiling the relationship between Lava and the rest of the alpha tester team. Now, where am I going with this? Well, let's get into Jargate. To the extreme whales of the game who had access to hundreds of lanterns, they were able to push Cavern 11 to the absolute extreme and completely break the cavern system as a whole. What do I mean? Take a look at this clip. Can you scroll over the gemstones? Or the collection? What the fuck?
Like this?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Jesus. I mean, that's the kind of thing you expect in like a year from now, but not like day one.
This is...
Need to claim now. No, my game is too laggy.
Oh no.
So often.
It's over.
Okay. That's one of the most OP ones, the study rate for villagers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Monument AFK.
Crazy. 70x more nodes.
I think there are more and they're each multiplying. This is the one I went for.
Yeah. This is in DB land.
Who is this guy? Do you want me to beat him up?
Please move on.
Now, to be completely honest and fair, almost no one got to this point. I'd estimate the number is in the low double digits because, like I said, this took an absolute extreme amount of lanterns. At the very minimum, 200 to 300 lanterns. Lava then released a stealth patch update that wasn't communicated that restricted the ability to enchant collectibles infinitely the very next day. Remember when he streamed kind of out of the blue? That's because he pushed an update at the exact same time. Keck W. Progress at this time was not affected. If you managed to break jars, then you still had the collectibles and could progress far. However, if you did not update, then you could infinitely keep up the cycle of collecting enchants over and over and over again, allowing you to do this to your monument AFK time. Some of the collectibles were also multiplicative, such as villager EXP, allowing you to reach quadrillions of villager EXP per hour. In some cases, these jar heads were reaching multiple billions of XP with a single opal on a villager. Moving on, the jars were fixed and they were reverted. Everyone's happy, right? No. The collectibles now cap out at +8, but any progress you gained was not completely wiped. All monuments that they had were set to 88,000 hours, and the JSON data reportedly shows that that also affects the Wisdom Monument too, which at the time of this video is not out yet. The villagers that were leveled with the insane villager XP bonus kept their levels, and you guessed it, that also includes Belaya the librarian, or studier, or whatever the fuck the name is. So it also includes the studies for Belaya. So the bell upgrade, some of them were pushing plus 800 bell levels per 20 rings. That's kind of insane. So why is the Jargate issue even worth mentioning? It highlights a key problem with IdleOn's developmental cycle. An update is made by a solo dev, and the changes are loosely communicated to a team of alpha testers, and they are given limited resources and limited time to test an update. This update was an extreme example of the time constraints that the alpha testers had. Normally, they have more time. In fact, the Gambit Cavern had 3 hours of pre-launch testing. I want to reemphasize the absurdity of that statement. 2 hours for Caverns 11, 12, and 15, but only 3 hours for Cavern 14. I don't think I'm making a controversial statement here when I say that the alpha tester team needs to have more robust tools available to them to limit test updates. What is the point even of having a team if not to limit test and break the game? Now, we can't really pinpoint why the Caverns update was so rushed in terms of development, especially when you consider some of the assets for the 11 through 15 Caverns have been out for at least 4 months at this point, but we can guess. The spring sale. Some members of the community think that the update and launch was so rushed so that it could rise in popularity on the Steam page to attract new players, and with new pets too. And, you know, that's kind of it for the video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Last video, as our most drama videos, was controversial, but still well liked by the community. And there were a lot of negative comments that were completely fair, given my perspective on the issue. So I'd like to hear what you think of this. Am I being fair to Lava? Was the reaction and partial rollback of the endgamers justified, or was it not far-reaching enough? Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Mane out. Hey guys, thank you so much if you do support me on YouTube and or Twitch. I really appreciate your support. Have a great day. Bye.